This page is the front cover of Famimaga 64, the June 1997 issue, priced at 590 yen. The main focus is a massive 32-page super strategy guide for Star Fox 64, diving deep into its appeal, including the voice acting and the Rumble Pack feature, offering a complete walkthrough from item locations on every stage to boss battles. Other major features include detailed strategies for games like Blastozer, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, GQ Powerful Pro Yaku 4, Powerful Pro Baseball 4, and Doraemon. There's also a section dedicated to Super Famicom and Game Boy highlights, featuring Mini 4, WDGB Let's and Go, and Tamagotchi. Prominently listed alongside these are features on titles such as Dracula X, Ganbare Goemon, Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, The Legend of Zelda 64, Bakuretsu Muteki Bangai OH, and even something titled, I'm Mario. It's clear this issue offers a wide range of content covering the latest and upcoming games across Nintendo's platforms at the time. This page is an advertisement for the Game Boy Game Mini 4 WDGB Let's and Go, promoting its special packaging, included Mini 4 WD parts, and a related Game Boy Pocket accessory. This page is an advertisement for the Game Boy Game Mini 4 WDGB Let's and Go, highlighting communication battles, part customization, and competing for the Grand Slam on May 23 release. This page features the cover artwork for Star Fox 64, noting the game's release date and highlighting the surprising inclusion of voice acting for the characters displayed on screen. The main content includes a comprehensive guide and strategy for Star Fox 64, featuring details from a purported 168-hour continuous playtest. There's also a strategy guide for Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, breaking down the first two worlds, and a challenge guide for Blast Corps focusing on achieving platinum medals. Other game coverage includes strategies for the Doraemon, Nobita and the Three Spirit Elves game, detailing hidden items and boss fights, and a guide for GQ Powerful Pro Baseball 4, revealing hidden player stats and events. A significant feature covers Shigeru Miyamoto speaking extensively at the Tokyo Game Show. The page also lists regular sections like game rankings, news from the US market, and general magazine news. This page is the table of contents for this issue, laying out the exciting articles within. For Nintendo 64 fans, there's big news, including Konami's emergency announcement about future action games like a tentative Dracula 3D, and a report on Hudson's presentation covering titles such as Bomberman 64 and Power League 64. The official release of The Legend of Zelda 64 is confirmed with a development update. The issue also dives into Asmik's new wrestling game, Virtual Pro Wrestling Ultra Battle Royal, previews the new Ganbare Goemon 5, Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori with commentary from Goemon and Ebisumaru, and features a report on Bomberman 64 with new screenshots. A developer report gives insight into the work being done by studios like Enix and Hudson. Game Boy coverage includes the unique Game to Hacken, Tamagotchi, updates on Ganbare Goemon, Kurofune tu no Nazo, and Let's and Go. For Super Famicom players, there's a shogi game featuring Hifumi Kato, Kato Hifumi Kyoku-san Kyudan, and the title Funao Taro. Hudson also releases a new same game for the Game Boy. This page features the exciting announcement from Konami at Tokyo Game Show. A new game in the legendary Akumajo Dracula Castlevania series is coming to Nintendo 64. Tentatively titled Dracula 3D, this marks the series' highly anticipated move into full 3D polygon graphics. The article highlights the game's focus on creating a sense of dread and mystery through its environments and visuals. It confirms the return of the Belmont clan's fight against Dracula. Visuals show a 3D castle setting and character renders, showcasing the signature whip and beloved subweapons like the cross. The protagonist is related to the Belmont lineage, and the game will feature 3 playable characters in total. While an inset screenshot shows the PS version of Akumajo Dracula X for comparison, the new N64 game is entirely 3D, although the screens shown here are noted as concept images. The wait for a true 3D Castlevania is finally over. This page continues the Konami TGS report, highlighting their N64 lineup. The main focus is the highly anticipated Akumajo Dracula, marking the series' leap from traditional 2D side-scrolling into a full 3D world. The article shows renders of 3D enemies, including a skeletal warrior and a reptilian monster, emphasizing that combat will now involve fully polygonal opponents attackable from all angles. An image of the classic SFC Akumajo Dracula XX is included to contrast the series' 2D past with its 3D future. Konami executives are also shown discussing the potential of the N64 hardware. Additionally, Konami reveals another N64 title, a fighting game tentatively titled New Fighting Battle Dancers. This game is described as a Konami-style fighting new wave, and rough illustrations of some of the potential characters are shown. The game is currently in development, with details like the release date and price still undecided. This page provides the latest follow-up report on The Legend of Zelda 64, highlighting new details that raise intriguing questions. The central focus is a mysterious glowing object that appears alongside Link in various screenshots. The article asks, "What is this mysterious light?" and points out that this small, flying object is often seen above Link's head or appearing as golden dust. Speculation suggests it could be a fairy, potentially playing a supportive role like recovering Link's HP. The persistent presence of this object throughout the game raises the question of whether it's always with Link, and implies it holds significant importance to the story or gameplay. The page confirms Nintendo as the developer for this tentative title, with the release date and price still undecided. This page provides the latest follow-up report on The Legend of Zelda 64, focusing heavily on Link's expanded combat abilities and revealing some of the enemies he will face. It confirms that beyond the previously shown vertical and horizontal sword slashes, there are now 2 new sword attack types, bringing the total known sword variations to 4. Additionally, 4 distinct variations for using the bow and arrow are mentioned, although the specific controls for bow aim and firing remain unknown for now. Specific techniques highlighted include a powerful forward stab capable of defeating enemies instantly, and a counterattack maneuver involving using the shield to block before transitioning directly into a thrust attack. The report also introduces a gallery of monsters ranging in size from large to small, revealing 4 confirmed types: the massive hungry Dodongo, the shadowy hand of the Wallmaster that grabs Link in dungeons, the classic Octorok, now rendered in 3D, and the eerie lamp-carrying Poe. The article speculates whether any of these newly revealed creatures could be mini-bosses, or even proper bosses in the game. This page provides a special report on Virtual Pro Wrestling Ultra Battle Royal, tentative title, coming to the Nintendo 64. This game appears to be a power-up of a Polygon wrestling game previously released on the PlayStation. Published by Asmik, the game's release date and price are currently undecided. Key improvements highlighted for the N64 version include a roster of over 64 unique wrestlers and a massive increase in the number of available moves, boasting over 1,000 compared to the previous version's approximately 500. And developers are placing a strong emphasis on giving each wrestler individual characteristics. Unlike the PS version, where certain actions might have been fixed, the N64 version will allow players more freedom, such as deciding whether to climb the ropes, to make each wrestler's personality shine through. Screenshots showcase the wrestler selection screen and various signature moves rendered in full polygon graphics, including the Romero Special, Powerbomb, Boston Crab, and Dropkick. There's also a specific call-out for high-flying lucha libre techniques, noting their dynamic execution. This page delves deeper into Virtual Pro Wrestling Ultra Battle Royal for the .64, highlighting several significant gameplay features. A major point is the confirmation of a chaotic 4-player simultaneous battle royal mode, truly living up to the game's title. Tag team matches are also featured, offering unique atmosphere and allowing players to create dream teams and customize match rules in detail. The game introduces the ability to fight on the ring apron, expanding the strategic possibilities for offense and tag team interactions. A refined damage system now tracks specific body parts, making targeted attacks and limb damage a key strategy, a departure from the more general damage in the PS version. The fan-requested blood feature is also confirmed, adding realism and allowing for focused attacks on injured wrestlers. Despite these additions, the magazine notes that the game still appears to lack an in-ring referee, which the reviewer finds a bit lonely. These new elements were showcased at the Tokyo Game Show. This page features a large illustration of the Arwing and other ships from Star Fox 64, promoting an extensive feature article on the game. The text announces a major 32-page deep dive targeting readers considering the purchase, highlighting the game's rebirth on the N64. It promises to explore the charm, fun, hidden grand story and depth of Star Fox 64. Key N64 release details are provided, including the publisher Nintendo, the shooting genre, an estimated April 27th release date, an estimated price of 8,700 yen, internal save support, and, importantly, compatibility with and the inclusion of the Vibration Pack, known as the Rumble Pack internationally. The red bar suggests the feature article will function as an ACE pilot training guide, indicating gameplay tips and strategies will be covered. This page serves as an introduction to the in-depth Star Fox 64 guide, featuring striking artwork of the Arwing ships soaring through space. It outlines the key sections of the feature. P14 provides essential background knowledge before starting the game, covering settings and preliminary information. P27 delves into the main game strategy, offering comprehensive support for navigating the game's path all the way to the final invasion point on Planet Venom. P41 focuses on the intense 4-player versus mode, promising to teach winning tactics for dogfights ahead of the competition. The guide promises to reveal everything from the game's lore and characters to the vehicles and stages, signaling a thorough examination for anyone wanting to master Star Fox 64. This page begins the extensive guide to Star Fox 64, declaring that anyone who reads through will be ready to call themselves Star Fox. It immediately emphasizes the game's stunning cinematic presentation, comparing the production quality to a Hollywood movie with numerous breathtaking scenes. The opening sequences and demo scenes are highlighted for their detail and impact. The guide points out how the dialogue from teammates and enemies during combat draws the player in, fostering a strong sense of mission and team camaraderie, especially during dramatic moments like facing the impressive giant bosses who deliver memorable lines. The page also features the groundbreaking inclusion of the Rumble Pack, explaining how its vibrations provide crucial physical feedback for impacts and explosions, enhancing the sense of realism and keeping players fully immersed from start to finish. Screenshots display Arwings, character dialogue, boss encounters, and the Rumble Pack accessory itself, illustrating the game's visual spectacle and innovative tactile feedback. This page continues the guide to Star Fox 64, diving deeper into the gameplay and character interactions. It emphasizes the dramatic shifts in the game's flow, highlighting unexpected events like the sudden appearance of time bombs that require quick action. The guide then introduces the formidable mercenary team, Star Wolf, featuring Wolf O'Donnell, Leon Pawalski, Pigma Dengar, and Andrew Oikani. Their appearance significantly ramps up the intensity, creating cinematic and challenging encounters. The page also discusses the importance of allies during battle, noting how the Star Fox team members assist the player and provide constant communication. The variety of their dialogue messages is highlighted, adding personality and strategic depth. Furthermore, interactions with other characters like old friends or mysterious pilots add layers to the story and gameplay, leading to memorable moments and humorous exchanges. The guide points out that the game is packed with character dialogue, boasting nearly 600 unique voice clips that bring the world and its inhabitants to life from various perspectives. This page introduces the main members of the Star Fox mercenary team, along with their ship and key allies from the Corneria Defense Force. You'll find profiles for the brave leader Fox McCloud, the sharp-tongued but loyal ace pilot Falco Lombardi, the mechanically inclined but sometimes clumsy Slippy Toad, and the veteran pilot and mentor Peppy Hare. The page also highlights the team's powerful mothership, the Great Fox, capable of interstellar warp travel and serving as their mobile base. Supporting characters are featured as well, including Rob 64, the Great Fox's robotic operator, General Pepper, who leads the Corneria Defense Force, Fox's friend Bill Gray, who commands a Cornerian base, and the mysterious independent pilot Cat Monroe. The content emphasizes how the rich personalities and interactions between these characters, both within the team and with allies, make the gameplay dynamic and engaging, directly building on the dialogue discussed on the previous page. A small collection of notable quotes from the game is also included. This page introduces the main antagonists of Star Fox 64, the mercenary team Star Wolf, featuring profiles for leader Wolf O'Donnell, the turncoat Pigma Dengar, and Gross's nephew Andrew Oikani, and the cruel Leon Pawalski. It also highlights their formidable ship, the Wolfen, a high-performance fighter rivaling the Star Fox team's Arwing. The page dives into the game's prologue, explaining the backstory involving the original Star Fox team's ill-fated mission to Venom and Pigma's betrayal of Fox's father, James McCloud. A comprehensive character relationship chart is presented, clearly mapping out the connections between the Star Fox team, the Corneria Defense Force, the Star Wolf team, and the Mastermind Drive, Andros, showing alliances, rivalries, and betrayals. The page concludes with a small collection of memorable quotes from the game, noting Slippy's famous call for help. This page from Famimaga 64 explains the two fundamental battle modes in Star Fox 64, the 3D scroll mode and the all-range mode. It highlights the key differences between these two modes that players will encounter in the Lylat system. The 3D scroll mode involves linear movement, sending your Arwing straight into the screen. Your movement is restricted within a limited area, only allowing you to move up, down, left, or right to dodge obstacles and enemies. Checkpoints are featured in this mode, allowing you to restart from the last one passed if you are shot down. In contrast, the all-range mode grants complete freedom of movement within a vast space, allowing for full 360-degree flight and rotation. Unlike the 3D scroll mode, there are no artificial boundaries restricting your movement within the combat area, although reaching the edge of the zone will cause your ship to automatically perform a U-turn. The page also notes that boss battles, often appearing at the end of 3D scroll mode stages, frequently trigger a switch to the all-range mode to facilitate more dynamic combat. Finally, a famous quotes section features Peppy Hare's iconic advice: "Never give up. Trust your instincts." This page continues the Star Fox 64 guide, shifting focus to combat strategies and the crucial role of your allies. It simulates expected combat scenarios, emphasizing the need to evade obstacles while engaging enemies. Building on the movement concepts from the previous page, a significant warning is given about friendly fire, stating explicitly that your allies, Falco, Peppy, and Slippy, can be damaged by your attacks, so you must be careful where you shoot. The guide stresses the importance of helping allies when they are in danger from enemy attacks, advising you to quickly come to their aid. Each of the three allies is highlighted for their unique and important roles in the Star Fox team. Falco is linked to discovering route branches, often guiding you towards alternative paths. Peppy provides helpful strategic advice during missions. Slippy is essential for analyzing enemy shields, displaying their weaknesses on your monitor. The page also touches upon allies withdrawing from battle if they take too much damage, and their eventual return, with screenshots showing character dialogues during these events. Ultimately, mastering teamwork and understanding your allies' abilities is key to success. This page dives into the combat and objective side of Star Fox 64, detailing various mission goals and formidable boss enemies you'll encounter. It highlights that missions often require destroying specific targets like barriers or searchlights to proceed. Several bosses are featured, including a fiery Giga Monster, possibly from the Sargasso region, the multi-core Meteor Crusher with varied attack patterns, and the cunning rival team Starwolf, who are noted for their exceptional maneuverability. Another boss, the Mandrill, launched from a catapult, is praised for its sleek design. The page stresses that many bosses have weak points and require strategic approaches, sometimes in a specific order. A crucial gameplay mechanic discussed is how mission completion is judged, distinguishing between mission accomplished and mission complete. Achieving mission complete is presented as the goal for unlocking different paths and is dependent on factors like defeating specific enemies or achieving high performance. The importance of in-game communication is emphasized, particularly listening to Peppy's advice and permission briefings from General Pepper. There's a tip urging players not to miss hidden objectives, such as destroying environmental elements like safety devices to unlock new paths. Finally, a small section features memorable lines, including one from a boss character identified as Andross's subordinate from the Cornelia stage, noted for a particularly unchallenging fight but a memorable concluding line. This page provides a comprehensive guide to Star Fox 64, explaining its core gameplay modes and interface elements. It starts by highlighting the main game, where players navigate the Lylat system and experience the story, noting that the path taken depends on player choices. The game features 3 modes, playable by up to 4 people. These are the main game, training mode, and versus game. The combat screen interface is detailed, showing crucial information like your shield gauge, health, remaining lives, boost charge meter, and smart bomb count. It also shows your score and the boss shield gauge for boss battles. The radar is key for situational awareness, displaying friendly aircraft like Falco, Slippy, and Peppy, with colored markers, blue for Falco, green for Slippy, red for Peppy, as well as enemies and important targets like bosses or bases. Training mode allows players to practice controlling the Arwing in both the on-rails 3D scroll mode and the free-flying all-range mode, starting in the 3D scroll mode before transitioning. Key practice maneuvers like U-turns and looping are mentioned. The versus game mode supports up to 4 players simultaneously across 3 types: Time Battle, where players compete for the highest score within a time limit; Battle Royal, a last man standing match, and point match, focusing on accumulating points. The page teases more detailed strategy guides available from page 27, and further explanations from page 41. Star Fox 64's combat system revolves around the Nintendo 64 controller, utilizing the 3D stick, triggers, and buttons. The R-Wing, a versatile aircraft with an anti-gravity system, allows for free-flying maneuvers. Players use the A button for lasers, upgradable to hyper laser and charge shot, and B for smart bombs, which have unlimited capacity. Homing missiles require a lock-on. Items like laser energy and supply parts are crucial for combat, replenishing shields, and upgrading weapons. The recurring rivalry with the enemy team, Starwolf, is highlighted by his iconic line. This page dives deeper into the R-Wing's advanced maneuvers and essential items in Star Fox 64. It details techniques like rolling, using Z or R trigger twice to deflect attacks, left-right quick turn, using the Z or R trigger with the 3D stick left or right for rapid sideways movement, brake, C button down to slow down, and boost, C button left for a burst of speed, useful for chasing enemies or dodging. It also explains the U-turn, 3D stick down plus C button down for a quick 180-degree turn, and the somersault, boost plus 3D stick up plus C button down, a rapid ascent, and turn. These maneuvers are vital for defense and positioning in combat, building on the basic controls from the previous page. The page also illustrates various pickups you'll find. Containers appear after receiving transmissions and can be destroyed for items. Repair fixes wing damage. Shield rings increase your maximum shield gauge and grant extra lives if you collect enough. Middle supply and supply ring restore portions of your shield gauge. Reserve bombs increase your smart bomb stock up to a maximum of 9. Knowing these items is key to survival and success. The next page continues the deep dive into Star Fox 64, focusing on advanced combat techniques and how to truly leverage the R-Wing's features. It covers using homing bombs effectively for support and details strategies for pursuing enemies and positioning yourself advantageously behind them. Essential defensive maneuvers like quick turns and the backflip are explained as vital tools for evading incoming attacks. Vertical dodging is also highlighted as a method for avoiding threats and navigating tight spaces, which leads into a humorous section celebrating the challenge of squeezing through impossibly narrow gaps, playfully labeled the Gap Fetish. Mastering these moves, which build upon the basic controls, is essential for surviving intense dogfights. The page wraps up with a collection of character quotes, including Slippy's thoughts on Andross's bioweapons polluting the sea. The next page provides a guide to the Landmaster tank in Star Fox 64. It details this high-performance, ground-to-air vehicle designed for various mission conditions, highlighting its tracked movement for navigating rough terrain and its ability to engage both ground and aerial enemies, with mobility similar to the R-Wing. The guide explains the Landmaster's weapon systems, the Smart Bomb, B button, for firing homing projectiles, and the Laser Cannon, a button, which can fire charged shots. It also covers the unique movement options. Hovering, Z plus R triggers simultaneously, allows temporary flight up to about 20 meters, useful for navigating obstacles, grabbing items, and reaching higher ground. Rolling, double tapping Z or R trigger, provides quick horizontal evasion, though unlike the R-Wing, the Landmaster's roll cannot deflect lasers. Players are advised to use hovering and rolling strategically for defense and movement. The page also includes some humorous commentary, noting that the rolling motion can be quite intense. Passenger must vomit rolling endurance race, and suggesting practicing it while imagining floating. Finally, the character quotes section features Falco's line, "You can swim in the sea too?" directed potentially at Slippy, a frog, questioning his ability to swim in the strange marine blue sea, as frogs typically inhabit fresh water. This Star Fox 64 guide details the Blue Marine, Slippy's custom submersible. Players control it in the unique Aquas mission, navigating the deep sea using controls like boosting, left C button, braking, down C button, and rolling, double tapping Z or R. Turns, holding ZR and moving the stick, are crucial for dodging attacks. The Blue Marine's significant water inertia necessitates adapting control styles compared to the R-Wing. Weapons include homing missiles, B button, and lasers, A button. Lasers can be rapidly fired and upgraded, while homing missiles are powerful but not rapid fire. The Aquas mission is a one-time event, and the dark, murky environment is noted as less blue marine and more dark marine due to pollution. Pepe's humorous quote subtly criticizes Slippy's design choices. This page is a comprehensive guide for Star Fox 64, detailing the path through the Lilat system all the way to Planet Venom. It prominently features a route map showing the interconnected stages like Cornelia, Meteo, Sector Psi, Aquas, Zones, Bulse, and Venom, each with a corresponding page number for detailed strategy. The guide emphasizes understanding how to navigate the multiple paths and prepare for the challenges ahead. Beyond the map, the page provides essential gameplay tips. It explains that defeated enemies often drop crucial items, showing screenshots of items appearing. A key section highlights that every boss has a weak point, which players must identify and target. It also notes that bosses often change their tactics and weak points across different phases of the fight. Finally, the guide explains how to read its stage maps, indicating the locations of shield rings with an S symbol and laser energy upgrades with an L symbol, referencing specific points discussed in the text. The next 14 pages are presented as an indispensable resource for players navigating the game's battles. This page details the first mission in Star Fox 64 on Planet Cornelia, presented as difficulty level 1. It includes a map highlighting locations for shield rings and laser energy upgrades, providing strategies for collecting these items, such as using the U-turn technique to grab multiple rings or boosting through tight passages. The guide emphasizes skillful flight, advising players to avoid collisions and use boosting to navigate the level and reconnect with Falco. The boss is the attack carrier, and the strategy involves targeting its legs to stop it, then focusing fire on its back when it turns, or destroying exposed parts as they appear. The page also features a quote from Slippy expressing confidence when enemies try to escape. This page provides a game guide and strategy for the Meteor stage of Star Fox 64, listed as difficulty 1. This asteroid belt is tricky to navigate due to the dense debris and approaching giant asteroids. The guide covers collecting shield rings and laser energy pickups found along the path and within asteroid rings, sometimes requiring skillful turns or boosts. It advises players on maintaining formation when allies like Falco appear, and how to efficiently take down enemy groups. Pepe offers advice on using the R-Wing's boost and brake to maneuver through the challenging environment, especially when giant asteroids approach. The boss for this stage is the Meteor Crusher. Strategies are detailed, starting with attacking its top and bottom tips, then focusing fire on the core, while skillfully avoiding its rotating shields, which can absorb lasers. The page also includes some memorable character quotes from the game, featuring lines from Slippy and Falco. This page provides a detailed strategy guide for the Fortuna stage in Star Fox 64, listed as difficulty 2. The mission sees Fox attempting to reclaim an occupied base, but the Star Wolf team arrives to stop him. A key challenge is a time bomb placed in the base that must be disarmed. The stage is an intense all-range mode battle, where using the radar is vital to track enemies and support allies. Star Wolf enters the scene, characterized by their individual attack patterns, and defeating them influences the game's progression. They are weak to attacks from behind, and protecting allies sending SO signals is important, as they will retreat if not aided. Successfully disarming the time bomb is essential for victory and defeating Starwolf. Failing to do so leads to a mandatory withdrawal. The page also includes a fun collection of character quotes, noting the specific first-person pronouns used by Pepe, Fox, Slippy, and Falco. Sector X in Star Fox 64, difficulty 2. Tasks players with investigating a destroyed space base. Key to success are smart bombs for enemy formations, especially in S1, S6, and S5. The L2/L3 paths feature specific enemies that drop the hyperlaser. Thus, avoid enemy mines. Bill Gray unexpectedly assists. The boss, HVC-09, has a two-phase fight. First, target its face. Second, dodge iron plates and focus on its head. Failing to defeat HVC-09 quickly results in Slippy being eaten. Falco's quote in R-Wing mode is also mentioned. This page covers the Titania level in Star Fox 64, where Fox pilots the Landmaster tank to rescue Slippy. The map shows the path through the desert, highlighting key locations, 1S8, and the boss fight area. The level is rated difficulty 2. The guide points out several shield rings to collect, specifically S2 and S3, suggesting using brake and rolling techniques to acquire them. It also highlights finding hidden rings in blind spots like S5 and S6, noting S5 requires hovering to reach a sand pile, while S6 is near pillars. Before the main boss, you encounter massive creatures.
The recommended strategy is to use smart bombs or charge shots targeting their weak underbelly. Be cautious, as these creatures can crush you after being defeated, requiring quick boosting away. Defeating these enemies quickly is crucial for Slippy's safety. The boss fight is a multi-phase encounter. The guide advises attacking the boss's belly, arms, and hands in succession, using left/right rolling to evade its attacks. Defeating the boss swiftly is essential to prevent its parts from regenerating. A small panel includes a quote from Peppy Hare about not letting enemies pass, and briefly mentions the animal species of the Star Fox team members. This page provides a guide for the Bulls Defense Satellite level in Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 2. This stage represents the final barrier before reaching Venom. The primary objective is to destroy the satellite. The guide explains that to break the satellite's barrier, you must first destroy all 6 energy towers scattered around the area. It suggests using lock-on attacks and focusing solely on the towers while ignoring enemy ships initially. As you progress, the Starwolf team appears. The guide advises tactics like getting behind their ships to gain an advantage, noting their relentless attacks. After dealing with Starwolf or destroying the towers, the satellite's core becomes vulnerable, appearing in multiple locations. You must destroy these cores. The guide recommends using U-turns and boosting to quickly re-engage after an attack run, and warns about dodging the powerful lasers the cores fire. A small panel includes a memorable quote from Bill Gray during this level. This page covers the final challenge in Star Fox 64, Venom, rated difficulty 3. Having cleared the Bulls defense satellite, you've reached the heart of Andross's domain, where the attacks are relentless. The key to survival is understanding the branching paths available in this stage. The page highlights several critical points. First, item collection. Some items are pulled in automatically, while others, like the shield ring and laser energy, appear in fixed spots, often near obstacles, requiring careful maneuvering like U-turns or boosts. Second, the stage features timed branching points, indicated by arrows. The recommended path from the editors is the right route, considered slightly easier, offering reserve bombs when you defeat enemies, and featuring support from Falco. Finally, the page details the boss fight, the giant body. This boss initially hides within a statue and attacks by breaking the surrounding wall. You must avoid the debris. The boss follows a pattern involving jumps and pillars emerging from the environment. Its weak point is a red glowing area on its back. You'll need to strategically destroy the boss's various body parts first. There are 9 in total that form the body. Once these parts are destroyed, the back becomes vulnerable, leading you closer to the final confrontation. With small note, includes a memorable line from Bill Gray. This page focuses on the sector stage in Star Fox 64, rated at difficulty 2. Here, you must defend your allies against an incoming fleet led by robots, and push through the center of the enemy formation, ensuring no allied ships are lost. Key items like shield rings are often found near battleships, while laser energy items drop from defeated robots, requiring careful maneuvering to collect them. The guide details strategy against various robot enemies, including groups that appear simultaneously and enemies that move above and below your ship. The boss fight is a multi-stage encounter against several robot types. The initial phase involves 2 robots that look similar but have different colors. The guide advises using U-turns to face them directly and attacking with lasers, noting that radar tracking can be tricky at a distance. The second phase introduces a faster, new type of robot, possibly named Saldes 2, which attacks with body slams that must be dodged with sharp turns. Its shields can be destroyed with lasers, and the head is a weak point. There's also a moment to attack when the boss is moving on top of a battleship. The page also includes memorable lines, like Slippy's surprise at enemies appearing without a battleship, and Fox's determined quote before the Saldes 2 fight. This page covers the Katina stage in Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 2, where the mission is to defend the Corneria front base from a giant enemy disk after rendezvous with Allied forces led by Fox's old friend, Bill Gray. During this mission, the guide advises against using lasers due to the presence of many friendly ships, recommending the use of homing missiles instead, as they lock on to only enemy targets. Shield rings appear during the battle to help replenish energy,
and supply rings also show up frequently for shield recovery. The boss fight is against the floating Great Dish giant disc. The initial phase requires attacking 4 hatches on the disc, which continuously spawn small enemy ships. Bill assists the team by reporting when the hatches are open. After some time, the disc's core is revealed, triggering a 1-minute timer. To destroy the core within the time limit, the guide suggests getting close and unleashing smart bombs alongside heavy laser fire. Failure to destroy the core before the timer runs out results in the base's destruction. The page also includes a small collection of memorable character quotes, including a line from Falco that the magazine finds amusingly contradictory given his own species. This page focuses on the scorching solar stage in Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 3. The intense heat is a constant threat, slowly draining your ship's shields, making it vital to collect subrings for recovery. The guide highlights that various items, including shield rings, can be obtained by destroying rocks that appear throughout the stage. Shield rings are noted to potentially appear randomly at specific points: S2, S3, S4, S6, and S7. Players are advised not to miss communications, as they can provide valuable items like laser upgrades or bombs. The page also mentions that Bill Gray appears in this stage, returning the favor from the Katina mission by offering assistance. The boss is identified as Sangar, a creature that emerges from the lava. The strategy for defeating Sangar is to first focus fire on its 2 arms while avoiding its attacks, and then target its head once the arms are destroyed. The page concludes by featuring some memorable character quotes, including a typically boastful and amusing line from Falco. This page delves into the Aqua stage of Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 3. Piloting the Blue Marine, Fox is tasked with investigating and destroying a bioweapon polluting the deep ocean. The stage is notably dark, and you must use homing missiles to illuminate your surroundings, acting like headlights. The game utilizes automatic lock-on in this area. Initially, you have unlimited homing missiles, making them essential for both combat and navigation in the dark depths. Throughout the stage, you can find various items by destroying specific pillars or shells. Shield rings can be found at locations marked S3 and S5, while laser upgrades are located at L1 and L2. Be cautious of blue triangle obstacles, as colliding with them can disrupt your control. A key navigation point involves passing through 3 arches. It's advised to use the brake before the first arch to slow down and move left after passing the second arch. Following a checkpoint, the screen darkens again, requiring continued use of homing missiles. The boss is the Great Marsh, a massive sea serpent. The strategy is to first destroy the objects floating above its head before targeting its eyes. The page also features character quotes, notably Falco's surprised reaction upon encountering another character, which causes him to momentarily lose his typical cool demeanor. This page provides a guide for the Zone stage in Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 3. Set in a polluted ocean area, the objective is to fly close to the water's surface, avoiding detection by destroying searchlights. The guide details the location of various items. Shield rings and laser upgrades are found by destroying specific boxes and structures throughout the level. Notably, Slippy offers hints throughout the stage on how to obtain items and navigate obstacles like arches. Cat also makes an appearance, providing assistance by destroying one of the searchlights for you, leading to a humorous interaction with Falco later in the stage. The boss battle is against the Sarumarine. Lasers are ineffective against this enemy, making smart bombs essential for victory. The strategy involves attacking specific parts in order. First, the 2 chimneys initially submerged, then the cannons. A key tactic is to shoot down the bullets fired by the Sarumarine's turrets, as this reliably drops reserve bombs, allowing you to stock up to the maximum of 9 for the fight. After destroying the cannons, you target the main body while dodging intense bullet barrages, ideally using the roll maneuver. The guide stresses the importance of destroying all parts to prevent the boss from repairing itself. Finally, there's a small section at the bottom dedicated to famous or amusing quotes from Star Fox 64 characters. The next page dives into the Macbeth stage of Star Fox 64, rated difficulty 4. Here, your mission is to intercept and destroy a crucial enemy transport train on the planet Macbeth. The guide provides a detailed walkthrough, starting from the initial descent onto the planet's surface where the train is spotted. It highlights navigating the railway tracks, including tips on finding shield rings by crossing tracks and passing through specific arches using maneuvers like boosting and rolling. Watch out for tricky obstacles like boards that move up and down, as hitting them can prevent item appearances. Fan favorite character Kat makes another appearance on this stage. The page even includes one of her memorable quotes about meeting Fox again, and humorously referring to him as Kid. The main challenge is the boss encounter against both the train and a large robot, possibly named Benjamin. Beyond simply attacking the robot's weak points like its head, tail, and back when it's vulnerable, a unique mechanic is introduced. You must destroy 8 safety devices positioned along the railway line by shooting them with your laser cannon until they turn blue. The guide strongly emphasizes that failing to destroy all these devices means you cannot successfully clear the stage, even if you defeat the robot and train. This adds a critical strategic element to the fight. This page is a comprehensive guide and strategy overview for the Versus mode in Star Fox 64. It focuses on teaching practical techniques to defeat your rivals in the game's competitive multiplayer dogfights. The core Versus experience is the all-range mode battle, supporting 2 to 4 players.
The guide breaks down the action into 3 distinct modes. 1.
Point match. Win by accumulating points, with a point awarded to the player who lands the final hit on an opponent. 2. Revival battle. The goal is simply to be the last player remaining. Strategic retreats or waiting for rivals to eliminate themselves can be tactics.
3.
Time battle. Compete for the highest score within a set time limit, earning points for shooting down opponents. The guide also highlights the 3 dedicated stages designed specifically for Versus mode. Katarina features an under-construction space station that serves as both obstacles and potential cover. Corneria, a grassland area with scattered buildings offering cover, but be wary as they can be damaged. Sector Z, a wide-open space where pure dogfighting skill and technique are paramount, with nothing to hide behind. The article concludes by stating that truly mastering Star Fox 64 requires experiencing the competitive multiplayer with friends,
and promises to fully reveal the winning strategies for up to 4 players.
This page continues the deep dive into Star Fox 64's Versus mode, focusing on essential information and strategies to gain an edge. It begins by explaining how to interpret the 4-player split-screen layout, showing the viewpoints for P1 Fox, P2 Peppy, P3 Slippy, and P4 Falco. Key interface elements are detailed. The radar shows players as colored dots. Fox is yellow, Peppy red, Slippy green, Falco blue, and items as large white circles. The shield gauge decreases upon taking damage and recovers when not being hit. Managing damage is crucial in Versus mode. The boost charger fuels your boost and brake maneuvers, recovering over time and upon receiving items. Using U-turns also consumes it. A core strategy highlighted is the U-turn seat, which allows you to suddenly warp to the opposite side of the stage, potentially surprising rivals. The article also covers the 2 types of items appearing in battle: laser energy, which increases your laser power, and smart bombs, which attack multiple nearby opponents. These items appear at specific points after battle begins.
Finally, tips are offered for optimizing the Versus experience. To shorten battle times, try increasing the damage amount setting. For more balanced matches against skilled opponents, utilize the handicap setting. Handicaps have 3 levels, affecting how much your shield decreases when hit, and potentially increasing your attack power, helping to level the playing field. The page concludes with a famous quote from Dr. Andros: "You cannot defeat me."
This page continues the Star Fox 64 Versus mode guide, detailing 5 practical techniques to master. First, it emphasizes Technique 1, checking enemy positions with the radar.
The radar is crucial for locating opponents, especially when they are off-screen.
A key tip is radar navigation, relying on the radar when rivals are hard to see, and aiming ahead of fast-moving targets. Next is Technique 2, shooting down rivals, holding items and taking them. If an opponent is carrying an item, blasting them will cause the item to drop at their crash site. It's essential to rush to the location immediately after a rival is shot down to claim the item.
Technique 3 focuses on using boost charge for evasive action. When locked onto, utilize boost, brake, and U-turns to evade. Mixing up your evasive maneuvers like turns and rolls is recommended to shake off pursuers. Boost can also be used to quickly distance yourself when targeted, and a U-turn can be a surprise attack. Finally, Technique 4 explains how to skillfully seal off rivals' movements. This involves preventing their evasion. Techniques include locking on from a distance, boosting towards them, and using side attacks. Using boost to quickly close the gap for an attack is also highlighted as effective. The page concludes with two famous quotes from the game. Fox's determined line, "From here on, I'm going alone," before facing Andros and Dr. Andros is defiant. "You cannot defeat me." This page dives into one of the 4 featured 64 titles, Go Go! Troublemakers, known internationally as Mischief Makers, developed by Treasure and published by Enix. Scheduled for a May 30th release at 8,900 yen, this action-packed platformer stars Marina Lightyears, a mechanical girl on a mission to rescue her professor. The core gameplay revolves around Marina's unique abilities, primarily grabbing and throwing enemies and objects, as she cannot directly attack. The page highlights her diverse movement options operated via the D-pad, including various types of jumps like the high jump, and even hovering. She can also perform dashes, rolls, kuru-kuru, and a valuable sliding maneuver that leads into a long-distance sliding jump, perfect for navigating traps. Mastering these actions and combining them is key to progressing through the stages. It's a wild, frantic action game centered around Marina's shake, shake, grabbing and throwing mechanics. This page continues the dive into Mischief Makers and the unique world of Planet Clancer, focusing on the distinct traps and wide variety of items you'll encounter. The developers have packed the stages with clever obstacles designed to challenge Marina's platforming skills. You'll find tricky pitfalls that send you plummeting with a single misstep, and areas that seem impassable until you figure out the right move or item, like using the grab and diagonal jump with a Nentama. Adding to the challenge are the traps like Nentoj, spiky foes that simply touching will hurt you, and some can even shoot projectiles. Then there are Nenpako, block-like objects, some of which, like the red ones, can only be cleared using a Nen bomb. Beyond traps, the planet is littered with helpful items. Nentama are floating spheres that can provide hints via hint-chan, or be grabbed and shaken to activate switches or propel Marina upwards. Standard items include crystals, with different colors offering varied effects. Blue and green restore HP, while collecting 10 red crystals grants an extra continue. There are also weapons like missiles and bombs. A particularly interesting system is the Nen Pot, a special item that lets Marina carry multiple items at once. More importantly, putting specific combinations of items into the Nen Pot and shaking it allows you to synthesize entirely new items, though any items held in the pot are lost upon completing a stage. It's a system that encourages experimentation and strategic item management. The next page dives deeper into Mischief Makers, introducing the game's premise: the maid robot Marina's mission to rescue the Doctor on Planet Clancer. The page highlights Marina herself, noting her capabilities despite her appearance. You'll learn the basic controls in the first chapter, which serves as a relatively gentle introduction before things get tougher. The goal of each stage is clearly explained: finding and grabbing the yellow warp star. From the second chapter onwards, the challenge ramps up significantly. Get ready for stages with tricky puzzles and mind-bending 360-degree screen rotations that will test your reflexes and spatial awareness. You'll also ride moving platforms that follow a set course. The world is populated by various characters, including helpful allies and challenging foes. Beware of fake Marinas, and prepare to face numerous mid-bosses and bosses. Featured here are the Frog Clancer, who attacks with lightning, and the quirky mid-boss known as the Red Strange Voice character. The page gives a solid overview of the game's structure, increasing difficulty, and some of the memorable characters you'll encounter. This page features Dual Heroes, an upcoming fighting game for the N64 from Hudson. The game takes place across 2 worlds and introduces the concept of virtual gamers who control the on-screen heroes alongside human players. The game highlights that the fighting style of a hero changes depending on whether it's controlled by a player or one of these AI opponents. Screenshots show the 3D fighting gameplay, with a notable change in the UI since a previous preview, now featuring character portraits in the health bars. The page introduces 5 of these virtual gamers, with accompanying illustrations. Bill, who looks like a power-type fighter. Raiko, a seemingly cute girl whose fighting style might be unexpected. John, appearing lighthearted. The twin-like duo, Alan and Milan. And Zara, a flashy character who looks very dangerous.
These virtual gamers apparently train at a game center within the game world, waiting for challengers. This page covers Sonic Wings Assault for the Nintendo 64, bringing the acclaimed arcade flight series into a fully 3D environment. The game features realistic combat aircraft engaging in intense dogfights across diverse stages, including urban areas, open seas, and sprawling cloudscapes, complete with challenging giant boss encounters. Players can choose from a roster of distinct pilots, each flying iconic real-world planes like the F-14 Tomcat, a 10 Thunderbolt II, and Su-35 Flanker. The game boasts full 360-degree freedom of movement, supports cooperative play with allies, and utilizes the Rumble Pack for immersive feedback. A highlight is the split-screen two-player versus mode, perfect for competitive dogfights. This page takes a look at Top Gear Rally, an 64 title currently under development by Kemco/Boss Game Studios. The focus is on recreating a realistic rally driving experience with highly detailed 3D polygon graphics. The game aims to capture the nuances of racing on varied surfaces like dirt and paved roads, with faithful reproduction of suspension movement as cars bounce and slide over gaps. It promises diverse environments, including day and night races, where limited visibility adds challenge when relying on headlights. The game also features changing weather, leading to slippery snow conditions. Visually, the backgrounds are nearing completion, while the developers are refining the car models for smooth presentation. A fun highlight is the car customization, allowing players to freely design body colors, logos, and stickers, emphasizing that looks are important for rally cars. The preview suggests steep hills and varied terrain will impact driving, making races more dynamic. The next page focuses on Hudson's upcoming Nintendo 64 and Game Boy titles. It highlights a presentation event showcasing 4 games, 3 for the N64 and 1 for the Game Boy. The N64 titles include Bomberman, which brings the classic character to 3D, J-League 11 Beat 1997, a soccer game with a cute stylized art style, and Power League 64, a baseball game. The Game Boy title is Super Bomberman Fighting Phoenix, a shooting game based on the Bomberman manga series. The page also mentions a new controller for the Game Boy with infrared communication capabilities called GB Kiss, and a new controller for the Nintendo 64 called Joy-Card 64, featuring Rapid Fire. The article ends by mentioning the games were playable and under development. This page serves as a guide for the Turok Dinosaur Hunter Nintendo 64 game. It's labeled as a Super Preservation Edition and promises to aid players to the early stages of the game with maps of the first 2 worlds. The guide points out the importance of finding time stones, weapons, and armor, as well as offering tips on combat and navigating challenging areas. It also provides a list of time stones and their locations. The game was scheduled for release on May 30th with a price of 7,800 yen. The next page offers a detailed walkthrough for World 1 of Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the Nintendo 64. It provides a map of the level, highlighting important locations such as time stones, save points, weapon pickups like the shotgun and auto shotgun, and areas where enemies are likely to appear. The guide gives tips on navigating the terrain, including climbing vines and cliffs, and strategies for battling specific enemies like the Beast. It also points out secrets and hidden areas that contain valuable items. The next page features a walkthrough for Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the Nintendo 64, specifically focusing on areas without a map. It provides maps for areas C and D, highlighting points of interest such as warp points, time warp point, and other key locations. The guide explains that in mapless areas, the compass is the only navigational tool. It also mentions finding a new weapon in the water after warping, and the best strategy to defeat bug-like enemies is using a knife. It also explains the role of time-space stones to unlock chronogates. The walkthrough also points out that a warp point will lead underground, and the player will eventually find their way to warp point D. The next page is a walkthrough for Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the Nintendo 64, focusing on World 2 and its secret areas. It emphasizes the importance of thorough exploration to find hidden paths and time-space stones. The guide features maps A and B. The walkthrough provides tips on finding hidden passages, such as those not marked on the map but accessible by jumping off cliffs. It highlights the need to look for clues in the environment, like the presence of trees. It also guides the player through specific areas, such as caves with entrances located underwater. The guide also discusses strategies for dealing with enemies like the beasts that ambush in tight spots, advising players to either fight or retreat. It also offers guidance on using switches to manipulate the environment, like lowering rocks to reveal warp points. This page continues the Turok Dinosaur Hunter walkthrough, diving deeper into World 2's caverns. It highlights the importance of finding powerful items hidden within the caves, such as tech armor and a Gatling gun. The walkthrough advises players to destroy rocks to reveal these items. The guide also cautions against potential dangers like ambushing enemies in narrow passages. It also touches on the subject of traps, such as falling rocks and areas that set off a boulder trap, instructing players to watch out for the triggers. The walkthrough features a map highlighting key areas and a section on solving the puzzles within the ruins. It suggests defeating enemies and searching the surrounding area to advance, finding hidden passages and switches within the temple-like structure. Ultimately, the goal is to reach the Chrono Gate, located in World 2.
Before entering, the guide advises players to acquire the necessary time-space stones.
The next page provides a complete guide to Blastozer, covering everything from how to unlock platinum medals to strategies for new modes. It analyzes the entire game and introduces the path to platinum medals. The game features mission stages, sub-game stages including building destruction and RDU operation, 6 scientist stages, extra stages, time attack mode, and the coveted platinum medals. The guide explains how to progress through the game, focusing on the mission stages, where players aim to secure the path of the trailer carrying hazardous materials while cleaning up polluted land. The RDU operation involves using a purification device to cleanse the land, while the building destruction requires destroying contaminated structures. Extra stages involve missions set on planets within the solar system, providing a different gameplay experience, while time attack challenges players to complete missions under a time limit, requiring skillful route planning. The platinum medals are awarded to players who perform flawlessly in the game. The page also provides a trailer gameplay tip and advises the player to seek out a scientist who has the knowledge to dismantle the trailer. This page presents a guide to Blastozer, focusing on finding 6 scientists scattered throughout the game. These scientists are crucial for safely dismantling the trailer. Each scientist is hidden in hard-to-find locations within the mission stages. The guide highlights various stages, including the Oyster Port, Iron Stone Mine, Argent Subway, Ebony Coasts, and Tempest City, providing tips on where to look for the scientists and how to progress through specific sections of each level. Strategies include using TNT bombs, moving bulldozers with cranes, locating hidden stations, and breaking walls, and using J-bombs. The next page gives guidance on the extra stages of Blastozer. These stages have low gravity, so mastering aerial maneuvers is key. Tips include mastering body blows in midair, focusing on the Mercury and Neptune courses where you have to avoid steps, and the Peanut stage, where large jumps are needed to destroy buildings. And the best way to destroy buildings is by using the air brake and mid-air turn to attack buildings nearby. The page covers 4 jump types on Mars stages. The player must use the 4 different jump types. Also, high and low ball formations can be destroyed more easily. There is also advice given on how to destroy formations on the stages depending on the stage. There are additional gameplay tips, like activating the air U-turn by pressing the B button while in midair, and using midair body blows on buildings to clear them out and continue to make progress. It's also possible to run freely in the air to a certain degree. Advice is given on when to turn off the accelerator when in a ravine, and when to stop in a ravine, and how to tackle balls found in ravine, and if you are not doing enough speed for jumps. The next page focuses on new mode strategies for Blastozer. It introduces a time attack mode, where speed is crucial, emphasizing that there's no room for error. The page advises players to replay all 20 stages in time attack mode, to clear the stage as fast as possible, to get a gold medal. If you are 1 minute faster, then you will get a platinum medal. Best time tips are given, such as only destroying building and nothing else, ignoring tracks and water, destroying building before trailer, and not performing extra actions. Players are warned against unnecessary actions that can lead to silver or bronze medals. Using advanced techniques are needed to master the game, and challenges players to aim for platinum medals. There are also in-game screenshots showing trailer positions and progress. This page is an item strategy guide for Nobita and the 3 Fairy Spirit Stones on the Nintendo 64. It provides locations and methods for obtaining secret tools in the game. The guide highlights that some tools are easy to find, while others require puzzle solving to acquire. Specific tools and their locations are detailed for the Earth world, including the air cannon, Momotaro badge Kibidango, champion gloves, escape tube, amulet seal, through hoop, moss drop hand bomb, and Echo Mountain. The guide also mentions the undersea buggy, mini Doraemon, and anywhere door, noting where they are located and how to obtain them, such as defeating bosses multiple times. The guide explains that the game involves finding all hidden tools, some of which are hard to locate. It offers tips on finding these tools, and mentions that some have special acquisition methods, like defeating a mini-boss more than once, or going to talk to a rat in a stage to get the Impact Wave pistol. The Tanma watch is said to be obtainable in a hidden room. This page is an item strategy guide for Doraemon, Nobita, and the 3 Fairy Spirit Stones on the Nintendo 64. It focuses on specific items and their locations within the Ocean World and Sky World, offering tips on how to acquire them. In the Ocean World, the guide lists items available in stages 1 through 4, such as the small light, giant microphone, time wrapping cloth, grayed up liquid, deep sea cream, techiolite, picture book, slipping shoes, and fishing ponds. It describes where to find these tools and how to unlock them. For example, the deep sea cream is obtained by winning a race against the youngest of the Fish Thunder Brothers. In the Sky World, the guide details items like the translation gummy, all-purpose manipulator, co-catamaran, take-copter, cloud solidifying gas, cosplay camera, and time TV. It explains how to get them, such as finding the co-catamaran on top of a large tree after crossing a moving bridge. It also explains how to acquire the Sky Key by going through doors and following elevators. The page provides additional hints, like how to get the Jack Bean by defeating 3 crabs, and describes the location of the camping capsule and the wireless telephone. The page also mentions needing to find the keys to beat the bosses, noting that they are hidden in various locations in each world, such as near treasure chests and on top of floating stones. The next page provides strategies for the JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4N64 game. It focuses on the success mode and details events and conditions to help players improve their characters and get them promoted to the Major League. The page highlights the importance of specific events for character development, such as the Baseball Superman Legend event on the player's birthday, where gifts from a girlfriend can lead to special abilities, and the Training Gym event, which can significantly boost stats. It also touches on events like failing surgery with Dr. Daigujobu, which can still lead to a comeback, and the mysterious disappearance of the research lab, which is something to look out for. Another key point is to always call the coach on his birthday, as it can lead to special training opportunities, potentially unlocking the Frontier Spirit skill. The page advises that a high coach evaluation is necessary for indoor practice.
Several in-game screenshots are used to illustrate the events and character stats.
The next page dives into the special abilities within JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4. It unveils previously unreleased data on all fielders, offering insights into how these special abilities influence gameplay and player selection. The page provides a fielder data item explanation, detailing popular abilities. These include Nagashi Uchi, hitting to the opposite field, Kuka Kudahu, hitting to all fields, average hitter, power hitter, head sliding, Taitari Atari, body blow, block, Umai Turui, skilled base stealing, Nyan Da De Deasui, easy to get infield hits, chance, Gyakyu, reverse circumstances, and Taihidari Tushu, against left-handed pitchers. Also detailed is how to create players, showing example screens and stats along with an in-game screenshot, as well as the following abilities.
Yatsukan, Intimidation. Daisha Yuen, Pinch Runner. Chuto Kutai, Mid-game replacement. The page also touches on unique in-game performances, showcasing players like Ichiro Suzuki. In the Oryx Blue Wave and Giants, special actions are highlighted, such as Hiroki Kokubo. This page provides further player data from baseball games, detailing player abilities and traits for various teams. The Oryx Blue Wave, Kintetsu Buffaloes, Chiba Latte Marines, Fukuoka Daiei Hawks, and the Cebu Lions. Players are rated on aspects like popularity, clutch hitting, defensive skills, power hitting, base stealing, and performance against left-handed pitchers. Key players such as Ichiro Suzuki are mentioned, highlighting the data's focus on in-game performance and player characteristics.
The next page continues with baseball game player data, this time focusing on the Yomiuri Giants, Yakult Swallows, Yokohama Baystars, Chunichi Dragons, Hanshin Tigers, and Hiroshima Toyo Carp. The data includes player rankings and special abilities, such as popularity, clutch hitting, defensive capabilities, power hitting, base stealing, and performance in crucial situations like against left-handed pitchers. Noteworthy players such as Shinosuke Abe, Hideki Matsui, Kazuo Matsui, and Tomoaki Kanemoto are featured. This page is a section titled Power Pro Square Provisional, focusing on the popular Success Self-Boasting Hall and featuring news and tips for the Power Pro series. The page features the mysterious Phantom Gedo-kun and attempts by Famimaga player to unmask him. The question is posed, who is Gedo-kun? 4 suspects are named, including Coach Uchimoto, nurse, Yabe player, and a reporter. It also includes a feature about players created by coaches for the Success Self-Boasting Hall, focusing on an all-around player with a ratings, and lists several players from different prefectures. There's also a call for reader submissions of strong players, specifically pitchers and catchers, with an address provided for submissions. Also included are some short stories, and a section to present readers' content. The next page unveils the Famimaga 64 Readers Data page, featuring a reader-voted top 20 ranking of games. The Legend of Zelda 64, provisional title, reclaims the top spot after Real Pro Baseball 97 was released and fell to 13th place. The column mentions Zelda is on top again. The list includes Mother 3, Forest of Chimera, provisional title, ranked at number 2, followed by Ganbare Goemon, Neo Momoyama, Bakufu no Odori, at number 3. Other games mentioned are Pokemon 64, provisional title, Star Fox 64, Bomberman,
Super Mario RPG 2 provisional title, Yoshi's Island 64, Pocket Monsters 2 Gold, and Game de Hacken Tamagotchi.
This page features readers' rankings of games, highlighting what players thought in 97. Powerful Pro Baseball 4 for the N64 earned a top 3 spot with a score of 25.63. It's praised for its updated player data and the ability to develop pitchers in success mode.
The 3D controls were also a highlight.
The reviewers also took a look at the SNES game, Powerful Pro Baseball 3. Other games reviewed include Animaniacs for the SNES, praised for its parodies of famous movies. Super Double Yakuman 2 also for the SNES, featuring unique mahjong gameplay. Pachislo Complete Guide, and Real Pachislo Victory Method. Twin, both pachinko simulators, were reviewed for the SNES. There is a review of Super Bomberman 5. It's considered a standard Hudson action game with puzzle elements. Players enjoyed the accomplishment rate system and the return of the dodgeball games.
Some found it challenging.
The reviewers share their personal experiences and thoughts on the games, highlighting the fun aspects of multiplayer and the depth of the gameplay. This page dives into reader opinions on various games, notably Bass Fishing No. 1 for the SFC. Players appreciated the graphics of Super Bomberman 5, and the config battle mode was a hit. One player mentioned the game reminded them of Super Fire Pro Wrestling X. Reader feedback praised Bass Fishing No. 1 for its realism and addictiveness. Players enjoyed the thrill of catching fish, and some found it surprisingly engaging despite the simple gameplay. One player highlighted the original lure item, and another suggested adding more fishing spots. Readers mentioned other games, including Taito Variety Pack for the GB, with one person expressing a desire for a Chase HQ release on N64. Also listed are upcoming software, including J-League Live 64, Human Grand Prix, The Next Generation, Mahjong 64, Doraemon Nobita, and 3, and 7 Spirit Stones. The next page is a monthly sales ranking from March 10th to March 30th, highlighting the top-selling games. Real Powerful Pro Baseball 4 for the N64 takes the top spot, followed by Pocket Monsters for the GB. Other notable games include Real Powerful Pro Baseball 3 Feet 97 Spring for the SFC, Super Bomberman 5 for the SFC, and Blastozer for the N64. Also pictured is some sort of baseball game. The page comments on the success of Real Powerful Pro Baseball 4, noting that it also took the top spot last year and that it is the most popular series. It also lists the top 5 selling hardware consoles. PlayStation takes the #1 spot with almost 400,000 units sold, followed by Nintendo 64, Game Boy, Sega Saturn, and lastly, Super Famicom. The page also notes that the PS had an overwhelming lead in sales. This page is an advertisement for puzzles and keychain games. The page features Mario jigsaw puzzles from Central Hobby that are ideal for decorating rooms. Illustrations include Mario, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong characters. There is a puzzle featuring Creamus Island Adventure displayed to look like a world map. Also featured is the Puyo Puyo keychain game from Compile. It's described as a puzzle game that's easy to carry around and play anywhere, and is available in white, black, and green colors. There is a prize giveaway for 3 people to win this keychain game, which was first sold at the All Japan Puyo Masters Tournament. This page is about new merchandise related to the Game Boy Shampoo series from Takara. These new additions are Game Boy-shaped cases with simple mini-games inside. 2 types are being released, each priced at 580 yen, excluding tax. One is an action game featuring Yoshi, and the other features Donkey Kong, and operate like a real Game Boy. A prize giveaway offers a set of the Game Boy bath salts and rescue band-aids to 5 lucky winners. The page also highlights Furai no Shiren for Famimaga, a long-running series by Chunsoft, featuring characters in comedic adventures. The manga collection, priced at 680 yen, excluding tax, includes works by various artists, special bonuses like a custom board game, and logic puzzles. The page mentions an NTT Publishing Cup event for Mario Kart 64, where players compete for the fastest times. Winners can earn prizes like library cards and Mario telecards. Contact information is provided for inquiries. A photograph on the page details the process of submitting a photograph of the map select screen to enter the contest. The next page features merchandise and services related to Disney's 101 Dalmatians. It introduces a print studio software for Windows, allowing users to create original prints with 101 Dalmatians illustrations. It mentions that Disney Interactive Japan is targeting PC users with this software. The page highlights a service called Virtual Shutter, enabling users to create calendars and postcards. This service, developed by T.II, Technical Information Service, involves print machines being installed nationwide, featuring a wide range of backgrounds. It allows users to take commemorative photos and create postcards or calendars. Additionally, there's a plate memory service that allows users to create plastic plates with their own photos. This service prints photos onto durable plastic plates, which can be attached to keychains. There is also a present being given away for 2 people, a Disney Print Studio Software 101 Dalmatians Windows version. Finally, the page promotes a website, mangapack.com, where users can find information about manga and purchase comics. This page is an advert for the illustrator Yoshitaka Amano, who is having an exhibition of his art. The exhibit, titled A Fantasia, will be held at the Tokyo Big Sight from April 26th to May 5th. Entry fees apply. There is a chance to win one of 20 special Amano pin badges. Applications for the present must be sent to the Famimaga 64 editorial department, 6th issue by post, marked no later than May 20th. The page also contains various games and merchandise being advertised. CD, Ebarouge Legend Volume 3, The Riotous Bard's Descent Festival, Gamera 2000 Original Soundtrack, Twin Bee Paradise 3 Vocal Bomb, Goddess Persecution Persona Original Soundtrack and Arrange Album, Enemy Zero Original Soundtrack, Michael Nyman. Street Fighter II, I New Generation, Goddess Rebirth, Tamagotchi Official Song, I no Kimochi, Miyuki, Book, Mario Kart 64, Complete Strategy Guidebook, OAV Dokisei, Perfect Collection, OAV Dokisei, Summer Ending and Climax, Video CD, and version of the game, Character Introductions, and Developer Battle Talk. This page is the Famimaga 64 Readers page, featuring reader-submitted content and discussions. The main topic is, how do you name your game characters? Readers share their naming strategies, from using original names to drawing inspiration from politics or personal experiences. Names mentioned include Live Alive, Furai no Shirin, Saga, and Dragon Quest. Readers also discuss the challenges and funny anecdotes related to naming characters, like accidentally creating embarrassing names or having friends with unique names. Reader artwork is included, showcasing fan-made illustrations and character designs. There are also shout-outs to other readers and artists, as well as general appreciation for the magazine and its community. The next page showcases fan-submitted artwork themed around school uniforms. A variety of fan-submitted artwork is present, including characters in different school uniform styles, with humorous comments and references. Games referenced include Tales of Fantasia, Final Fantasy VI featuring Cillies and Realm, Duran and Hawkeye, Charlotte, and Star Fox 64. The page also includes reader opinions and discussions, such as whether certain uniform styles are fashionable, or if characters look good in specific outfits. A reader also questions whether using clothespins on a uniform would be a school violation. This page is titled RGB Maniac and features fan artwork and reader comments centered around school uniforms. One section shows a fan-made character named Sakura, wearing a school uniform. Another shows Celis, Sheer from Final Fantasy Vide, in a school uniform with wings. Also, a fan questions the style of a new combi character. The page includes a segment where readers discuss their favorite video game music. Some mention tracks from Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, particularly Final Fantasy IV, and V. Love Song Searching from Dragon Quest II. The page ends with a reader recounting their experience, listening to various Final Fantasy and Seiken Densetsu soundtracks. They also express interest in forming a band with other gamers. The next page is a section called Maniac Gallery, featuring fan-submitted artwork and reader comments in a gentlemen and ladies social gathering format. The page highlights artwork in various styles. One depicts a Bulbasaur from Pokemon, which the artist hopes to see in the anime. Another is a drawing of the Piquiña characters, popular in Hokkaido, with a comment about their appeal. There's also an illustration of Seiken Densetsu 2. Reader comments include a discussion about a Twinbee manga adaptation and a desire to play this game. One user shares a drawing of Mystic Arc, and there are requests for more artwork of Kuro wo Torigara. A reader expresses frustration at losing in a previous character contest and vows to win next time, with a drawing of Lees from the Star Ocean series. Another comment mentions others are satisfied with the results, so they want to keep the contest going. There are also reader comments that they find they were too critical of their art, and suggestions that the magazine make all the contests hardcore. One reader asks if they can use telepathy to talk to a rabbit, while another laments that their pet rabbit keeps chewing on electrical cords. This page is from the RGB Maniac section. It features fan-submitted artwork and reader comments. One drawing is of Bulbasaur from Pokemon, which the artist likes to see in the anime. Another shows a cat chasing butterflies, with a comment about the artist's fondness for the subject. Also included is an illustration from Seiken Densetsu 3. Reader comments include liking the game 3 and a comment about the character Millie from a game. A reader shares a strip of Pokemon and complains that the Pokemon anime has started. The bottom of the page shows the address for sending submissions to the magazine and comments on fan art from readers. One says that Mogri is now Mori thanks to the comments of Morian Roussan's illustration. A 4-panel comic is included showing a character from the game getting angry, with a comment that the characters are very well represented. The next page showcases Satellaview Station, focusing on the Spring Soundlink event featuring luxurious guests. It mentions that even after the personality programs conclude, the Soundlink games are still exciting. The page highlights the Bass Fishing No. 1 and Satellaview Q broadcasts. There's an advertisement for the Bass Fishing No. 1 Spring National Tournament, which is a sound-linked event for the BS Satellaview and featuring the voice of Kyuko Koizumi. The tournament takes place in Akahoshi Lake, a fictional lake where players compete to catch the heaviest total weight of 5 bass within 1 hour. People can participate in the general division, and the winners can challenge ITOI in the finals. The page also introduces new magazine-style programs, which replace the personality programs, and introduces the BS Goods Press and BS Famitsu version series. The page also introduces the Doremi de Fua Music Information Magazine program and the Tiger Maga Operation, a remake of the game Tiger's Big Hole. A screenshot from the game, Kaizu Chubinman Zero, is shown. A photo showcases a celebration party. It also shows the ranking results for 5 bass weight with times, weight, and sizes, as well as the names of the top 3 players. This page focuses on the Satellaview station and its Satellaview Q program, a quiz show returning in May with audio integration. It features tough, unusual, and tricky questions, with the theme National Q Day. The quiz show contains a lot of puns, and the questions cater to both children and adults. The show will be broadcasted from May 4th to May 10th, from 1900 to 2000. The main character for this broadcast is Kinopio. The program's host is familiar, with the character Ishii providing excitement, along with assistant Ryuko-chan. In the game, Ishii reads the questions. The page provides screenshots of various quiz segments like Relax Q, Moji Moji Q, Yonda Q, Quiz Q, Ras Q, 3x6 Q, Doremi FAQ, and Graphic Q, describing each. Schedule of Super Famicom broadcast programs is provided for each week, April 27th to May 3rd, May 4th to 10th, May 11th to 17th, and May 18th to 24th. The list includes a mix of games like Derby Stallion 96, Weekly Base Magazine, Wild Guns, Sankyo Fever, Super Bomberman 2, Crazy Chaser, Actraiser, Firebird, Super Bomberman, Super Famicom Wars, OB Club, BS Detective Club, and more. The final section is Under the Floor Satellaview, where it mentions that although you cannot participate in the ITOI Shigesato's Bass Fishing No. 1 tournament,
you can still enjoy the usual BSX cassette and listen to Kyuko Koizumi's voice during the campaign.
The next page is a reader's survey and gift section for Famimaga 64, offering a total of 60 prizes. Readers can win prizes like Star Fox 64 or Same Game by participating in the survey. The page has a questionnaire covering topics such as school or occupation, age, gender, frequently read magazines, owned game consoles/PCs, and future purchase intentions. Readers are asked about their preferred and least favorite articles in the current issue, and what kind of games they want to see featured in the magazine. There are also questions about Nintendo 64 ownership and desired features. The page includes lists of article titles from the current issue, magazine names, and console types for reference. The page provides detailed instructions on how to fill out the survey card, emphasizing the use of specific writing tools and formats. This page is a reader survey and gift application form from Famimaga 64 magazine. Readers can fill out the form to potentially win one of 60 gifts. The form includes sections for personal information like address, name, and phone number. It also asks readers to specify what kind of prize they would like, and includes a new work communication section with a list of Nintendo 64 and Super Famicom (SNES) games like Doraemon, Nobita and the 3 Fairy Spirit Stones, Blast Dozer, J-League Live 64, Human Grand Prix, The New Generation, Mahjong 64, Solid Runner, Dark Law Meaning of Death, Real Mahjong Puzzler, Manchu, Parlor, Mini 5, Pro Mahjong Soldier, and Pro Baseball Passion Puzzle Stadium. Readers can mark their favorites with symbols for interesting, money, technique, or surprise. This page is an answer sheet for an opinion survey in the magazine, specifically for the June issue. It contains numbered boxes 1 through 18 for responses. At the bottom, there's a section where readers can write their impressions of recently played games and opinions on the magazine itself. A line indicates where the page can be detached. The page number 84 is at the bottom left. The next page is an article about the new Ganbare Goemon game for the Nintendo 64, subtitled Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori. It's from the Tokyo Game Show and features Goemon and Ebisumaru, who have been kicked out of a restaurant and are ready to show off their latest game. The page includes screenshots from the game, with dialogue snippets, and mentions that the game is an action title developed by Konami. The release date and price are yet to be determined, and it supports the controller pack.
Goemon and Ebisumaru are being interviewed about their latest adventure. The page also refers to a scene where Goemon and Ebisumaru are in a studio setting taking photographs together. This page dives deeper into Goemon and Ebisumaru, characters from the Ganbare Goemon series, specifically the Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori game for the Nintendo 64. The article humorously observes the characters' movements and actions. There are multiple screenshots showing Goemon and Ebisumaru performing various actions, like running, sneaking, skipping, and a unique worm-like move. They appear to be exploring different areas, showcasing the game's variety in movement and level design. One section highlights special moves, including Goemon's pipe attacks and Ebisumaru's acrobatic reverse shrimp maneuver, as well as one where he tries to get up close to some of the women in the game. It even mentions that the game is in development by Konami. The next page gives us a sneak peek into Ganbare Goemon, Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori, on the Nintendo 64. The article humorously follows Goemon and Ebisumaru, highlighting their antics around town. The article playfully questions whether Goemon developers are staying at the inn. We then see Ebisumaru causing trouble at a restaurant, seemingly demanding food. The article also explores the possibility of trading at the pawn shop, with Ebisumaru potentially attempting to steal a decorative helmet. There's a mention of a tea house in Goemon, pulling out a chain kiseru, a weapon in disguise. And finally, Ebisumaru is seen in front of a jail cell, with some comical kiseru collections hanging on the walls of the Goemon residence. There's a mysterious fortune teller, and the article jokes about Ebisumaru's true profession being a thief. This page offers an inside look at the inner workings of Goemon Impact from Ganbare Goemon, Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori. The article highlights Goemon Impact's cockpit and its controls, like moving the viewpoint and displaying Impact's health. It details the Takonaguri, octopus beatdown, attack, showing how to grab and pummel enemies. The page also features Kabuki Robo, showcasing its dramatic entrance and special move called Kashiwagi. It explains how to initiate powerful attacks with Goemon Impact, like the jab, and devastating kicks after pulling the enemy closer. The next page is a TGS report on Ganbare Goemon, Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori. The article reveals the circumstances of the journey through the testimonies of Goemon and Ebisumaru. Goemon and Ebisumaru get chased out of a store. Suddenly, a giant peach-shaped battleship appears above Hagertown. The battleship seems to be attacking the Edo Castle, with the residents of Hagertown looking on. The battleship belongs to someone called Harukaze Danshin, who is part of the Neo Momoyama shogunate. The battleship fires a beam at the castle. Goemon and Ebisumaru witness the battleship. The page ends with the villain Baron saying, "First, I'll start with this castle." This page introduces two new types of items for the game. Bomberman 64, highlighting strategic gameplay enhancements. These additions are the Charge Bomb, which increases explosive power, and the Chain Kick, which allows players to kick bombs in a chain reaction. The page illustrates the Charge Bomb technique, explaining how rapidly pressing the button increases its destructive force. There are images demonstrating how to charge the bomb and its full-power destructive capability. It also covers the Chain Kick, showing how it enables players to kick bombs consecutively and also kick them in a straight line. There are images showing the character placing bombs in a line and kicking them to send them flying. With the character displayed in the lower portion, the game is stated as being for the N64. Hudson is listed as the manufacturer with release date and price unannounced. The next page is titled Screen Verification for Bomberman 64. This article showcases the new carry action added to the N64 Bomberman game, which fundamentally changes the game. Players can now pick up items and even enemies, impacting their abilities and life force. The game also introduces a new 3D stick-based recovery technique. The article claims that by throwing bombs at enemies, it is possible to stun enemies to pick them up. The game allows players to pick up various objects, including bombs, to throw them at the opposition. This ability is highlighted in the 4-player battle mode, where players can pass on items. If the characters are holding an item, they can be knocked out of their hands. The page also shows that the fire item can also be carried. There are more actions such as picking up stunned opponents, allowing the player to do as they please to them. Picking up characters allows you to stun opponents with your bombs. If you get too close to the enemy and come into contact with you, the enemy will be stunned, allowing you to recover using the 3D stick. If the character is burnt to a cinder by an explosion, then it is game over. The page also encourages players to play the demo version. This page is an advertisement for the Game Boy version of Tamagotchi, promising a complete cast of characters from the series and details on minigames. It showcases the evolution of Tamagotchi characters from baby to adult, highlighting various unique characters and their traits. The page also explains how the Tamagotchi's personality changes based on how it is raised. It includes screenshots of the gameplay, showing the Tamagotchi in different stages of life. The game is set to feature 20 different characters to raise and interact with. This page features a section called SFC Flash and focuses on the Game Boy version of Tamagotchi. It illustrates the Tamagotchi's reactions, stating they express needs through various actions. The page mentions 3 minigames to play with your Tamagotchi. One minigame is a quiz where you answer multiple-choice questions that vary in difficulty. Another involves a rock, paper, scissors style game that affects the Tamagotchi's mood based on the outcome. And the last is a catching game where you use the D-PAD to catch falling balls. The review also shows screenshots of Tamagotchi Blue, Tamagotchi White, and Tamagotchi Yellow versions. This page, Mini 4WDGB, Let's and Go, introduces the Mini 4WD game, emphasizing machine understanding for optimal performance. Players can buy new machines, including the Nagai toy, 26806G, and various others. Tri-Dagger ZMC, Spin Cobra, Cyclone Magnum, Hurricane Sonic, Saber 600, all 600 grams. But can only own 4 at a time. The guide details choosing a Mini 4WD, highlighting 5 types with unique characteristics. Saber 600, Hurricane Sonic, Cyclone Magnum, Spin Cobra, and Tri-Dagger ZMC. Specific machine summaries are provided. Saber 600 is a versatile mass-produced model. Hurricane Sonic excels in corners. Cyclone Magnum prioritizes straight-line speed. Spin Cobra improves upon a previous model. And Tri-Dagger ZMC boasts excellent straight-line stability. The page concludes with advice on testing settings on an oval course and balancing parts during upgrades. The Mini 4WDGB Let's and Go guide emphasizes strategic course selection and machine setup for optimal performance. Different course types, oval, cornering, off-road, high-speed, require tailored setups. Balanced setups are crucial for complex courses, while mixing high-speed and cornering elements can be effective. Communication battles award trophies after 50 wins, and part swapping strengthens cars for further trophy acquisition. The customization interface displays various parts, like Reston Tire S, Mega Torque Motor. Taunting opponents and witnessing Mini-Yon fighter commentary are also part of the experience. Successfully earning 50 wins in communication battles is highlighted as a significant achievement. The next page is an advertisement for Funako Taro, a new fishing game on Super Famicom. It boasts realistic graphics and details, and takes players to various fishing spots and underwater environments, recreated with aerial and location footage. The game features locations like Miyakojima Island, and promises an immersive fishing experience. Players start with a limited number of fishing spots, unlocking new ones by catching specific fish. The game aims to provide a realistic fishing experience, with 60 stages or more, and over 50 kinds of fish to catch. The page also introduces some of the fish in the game, such as parrotfish, nibbler, barracuda, and others. This page provides tips and tricks for Funako Taro, the Super Famicom fishing game. It explains how to select the best bait and equipment combinations, adjusting to the type and size of fish you want to catch. You need to explore fishing spots for different fish and adjust your bait. The page illustrates techniques for luring fish, managing the fishing line tension, and reeling them in. It introduces 5 different fishing methods: Bokomi fishing, lure fishing, live bait, Iki fishing, Komase fishing, and Tarashi fishing, each suited to different depths and fish types, with over 20 types of bait available. The page also details elements such as managing fuel points and fishing hooks, showing what happens when you run out of fuel or hooks. The screenshots show the game's interface, including fish stats, high score records, and cutscenes. The article encourages players to experiment with different techniques to improve their fishing skills. The next page is an advertisement for Kaito Haifumi 9 Dan, Shogi Club, a Super Famicom game where you can enjoy fast-paced shogi. The game offers simple functions, including a mode where you can challenge problems created by Kaito Haifumi 9 Dan, with 50 different problems. If you make a mistake,
the computer will immediately show you the correct answer. The game also features an option to adjust the computer's strength in 4 levels. You can select between playing against the computer or another player. The game has the function of designating a furigoma, and you can choose the movement of the rook. It also offers 6 types of movement, and you can choose from them. There is also a mode where you can experience actual shogi matches from Kato 9-Dan's career. The screenshots illustrate various game features, such as board editing, strategy selection, and different gameplay scenarios. There is also a color separation functionality, and you can choose from wooden, stone, or glass shogi boards. This page is an advertisement for Same Game on the Game Boy, a puzzle game by Hudson Soft Set, to release on April 25th for 3,480 yen. The objective is to connect and eliminate blocks of the same type to achieve high scores.
The game highlights connecting same-type blocks for combo points. The page showcases different game modes, including a tomb game mode where you clear stages with set scores, and a regular mode where you aim for high scores within a time limit. Tips include the blocks disappear and fall vertically. Screenshots show various puzzle arrangements and point-scoring scenarios. Different level designs increase the difficulty by making blocks smaller. A packaging shot shows the game's design with a unique art style by Yoshi Okuyama. The next page is a guide for JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4 on the Nintendo 64, teaching players how to create powerful players in the success mode. It details a technique to transfer special abilities from one player to another, using the controller to load a success mode file and create a new player, ensuring they inherit the desired skills. The guide includes screenshots of the game's interface, showcasing player stats and options for transferring abilities. It emphasizes the importance of manually training players to maximize their potential. The page features a character called Wazabiko, who provides support for the players, and a player called Sato Masahide. This page is a guide to secret passwords for Super Bomberman 5 on the Super Famicom. It reveals how to unlock hidden stages, how to start with full power-ups, and other fun effects. The page lists several passwords for the normal game, such as starting with full power-ups, playing with 9 lives and 8 minutes on the clock, and battling only boss characters. Also mentioned are passwords for viewing the good and bad endings. For the battle game, it provides codes to access stages in battle groups 2, 3, and 4, as well as a code to maximize the strength of the CPU opponent. The page details how to enter the passwords using the password entry screen, and also how to unlock hidden stages by setting the controller to 2-speed and holding the X button for 6 seconds from the title screen. It also gives other codes for the visual select. The next page features fan comments and tips for JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4 on the Nintendo 64. One fan shares an anecdote about a funny conversation with their mother while playing Wonder Project J2. Another describes a funny situation in Fire Emblem. The page then dives into JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4, noting the game allows players to view the data of current players, and describes how to access hidden player data in the game, involving controller inputs in the success mode. The page also details how to edit player numbers in the game and how to adjust the pitching area for practice, and includes screenshots of the game interface, demonstrating player selection and customization options. This page showcases techniques and hidden content for Super Nintendo games. First, it reveals how to obtain the Gold Scorpion in Mini 4 WD Shining Scorpion Let's and Go by finishing within the top 3 in the spring, summer, or autumn races, and winning the Super Great Japan Cup unlocks the Golden Body. It then explains how to unlock hidden scenarios in JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 3 feet 97 Spring by completing all 12 scenarios in scenario mode, specifically achieving no-hit Norun in both the Noguchi and Watanabe scenarios. Additionally, the page details how to unlock new modes in a racing game, likely Pick Yunya, by completing endless and stage clear modes and achieving high rankings in time attack mode, unlocking 1-minute and 30-minute modes, and eventually a 100-lap mode. Screenshots illustrate gameplay and menu options. The next page is a section called Everyone's Message Board, which features reader-submitted tips and tricks for various Nintendo 64 games. It starts with JIKU Powerful Pro Yakyu 4, detailing how to select the Oryx Blue Wave team and have Ichiro catch a light fly to let him throw a ball into the stands. It also mentions how to relax your tired players. Next up is Blast Dozer, revealing the secret of robot transformations.
The page notes that different actions occur depending on the robot type selected. Another Blastozer tip is about how to rapidly ascend buildings. First, stick to a tall building with a J-bomb, and then jet up to the top of the building. And with the proper timing, the J-bomb will also rotate and launch. There is another tip for Blastozer to get into strange poses by stopping mid-air during the action. The page also covers Doraemon 3, Nobita and the Stone of Time, explaining how to change character expressions. Finally, it shares an exploit in Jikyu Powerful Pro Yakyu 4, where a mark changes at the end of the text in success mode. This page is a section dedicated to reader-submitted ultra techniques for various games. First up is a Game Boy trick for Midori no Makibao, detailing how to use Masatora cards to knock out other horses in a race, potentially causing them to be listed twice on the results board. Next, a Super Famicom tip covers Arkanoid, Do It Again, showing how to escape a stage when trapped by unbreakable blocks. The player must wait for an exit to open. A second Super Famicom trick is for Itoi Shigesato's Bass Fishing No. 1, describing how to fish at a specific location on the map, even without water. Lastly, there's a Super Famicom tip for Donkey Kong Country 3, revealing how to slip through the Spider Boss Erich's legs as Dixie Kong, by pressing down on the D-pad as you ride him. The page also details prizes for submitting techniques, ranging from gold coins and Famicom 64 games to book vouchers. There is a call for submissions via postcard or fax. This page of Famimaga 64 focuses on Nintendo 64 news from America, delivering information straight from Nintendo Power Magazine. The page highlights Top Gear Rally, which has been announced in Japan, and promises the latest information. It also teases coverage of other anticipated fighting games for the Japanese market. Featured games on the cover include Blastcore, Doom 64, and Game Boy titles like Kirby's Star Stacker and Game & Watch Gallery. The USA Hotline Contents section lists development information on upcoming N64 titles with a preview for Dark Rift, found on page 108, and more info on page 107. A section titled Next New Title Development highlights that Kemco America is developing new titles, including Top Gear Rally. Acclaim is also working on titles like Jam Extreme and Magic: The Gathering. The reviewer notes that 64 development takes several years, and these companies are leading the way. They also say that Midway is also working on new 64 games, mentioning the 3D fighting game BioFreaks. Another mention of Turok, describing the game as a major undertaking. This page highlights Top Gear Rally for the N64, with screenshots showcasing its realistic graphics and dynamic weather effects. The reviewer was impressed by the attention to detail, including sunlight reflecting on car hoods, and weather impacting visibility and handling. The game features customizable cars, a variety of tracks, and is slated for an August release. The page also covers Clay Fighter 63 1/3 by Interplay, describing it as a parody fighting game with serious fighting mechanics. The developer, Arlie, wants the game to be known for its parodic elements, such as characters that can throw snot at each other, and the fact that stages that have silly elements like a toilet where fighters can fall in. The page features Sumo Santa as an example of the character designs in the game. The next page is a preview for Dark Rift, a fighting game developed by Kronos. The text describes it as a next-generation fighting game that surpasses previous titles in graphics, characters, and system. It is slated to be released in Japan and has the potential to be a hit. The page highlights the game's impressive graphics and flashy presentations, featuring a variety of fighters and attacks. Character and background graphics are 3D polygons, and it emphasizes the smooth character animations captured via motion capture. The team of 18 members worked long hours to complete the game, and it features high-resolution visuals with animations created at 60 frames per second. This page showcases Dark Rift, a fighting game with a mysterious tournament and 8 fighters with shrouded pasts. The game features 4 male and 4 female fighters, each with their own reasons for participating. The secrets will only be revealed by winning the fights. Hidden characters might also appear. The page provides character descriptions for Aaron, a fighter dedicated to saving Earth and wielding rifles and bombs; Scarlet, a former administrator seeking revenge; Demonica, an evil boss with claw attacks; Zenmuran, a ninja-like character; Gore, a champion fighter with unique machine-like attacks; Nikki, a princess who is able to evade attacks; and Eve, an android seeking to restore her body. Morphix. The enigmatic character is described as a non-living mechanical entity with unpredictable movements. The page highlights unique character traits, weapons, and fighting styles. This page from the Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring event features Shigeru Miyamoto, Nintendo's famed developer, discussing the creation of games for the Nintendo 64. He emphasizes that the N64 allows developers to realize their creative visions, recounting stories of his early inspirations and his desire to constantly surprise players. The page also includes spotlights on other industry figures, such as Chunsoft's Koichi Nakamura, Sega's Yu Suzuki, and Capcom's Yoshiki Okamoto, sharing their perspectives on game development. A concert at the event caused a big stir. There is a photo of cosplayers dressed as maids. This page discusses the Legend of Zelda 64 Room version, which will be playable this autumn. The developers are prioritizing the Room version for those who want to play it on the Nintendo 64DD. In autumn, both the 64DD version and the cartridge version of Zelda will be available. Shigeru Miyamoto expresses confidence in Star Fox 64 and believes it is one of his best works. He describes the game's feel, comparing it to watching a movie. The release date for Star Fox 64 is scheduled for April 27th. He also mentions the 3D stick and its integration with Star Fox, stating that the 3D stick allows for innovative gameplay. The article mentions that Nintendo aims to improve the quality of games while keeping fans in mind. The page features screenshots of the game show with the company mascots on display, along with a hockey game called Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. This page from Famimaga 64 magazine, number 0004, has a focus on the CESA Awards for '96. The tagline mentions a concentration on up-to-date information each month. There's a new serial feature called A Day's Scenery, and the location for the magazine shoot is at Tokyo Big Sight. The top prize winner for the CESA Awards '96 is Sakura Wars on the Sega Saturn. The CESA Awards aim to recognize outstanding games developed and sold in Japan, with votes from CESA members and general users. Pokémon won a special award. Also on the page, Bandai announces a Dual Heroes kit is being released. A list of all the CESA award-winning games are listed. The page shows figures and a display at the toy show, with prototypes of games and characters that are being shown off at Bandai's booth, including the Dual Heroes figures from Hudson. And the text says they will include commands for the game. The team is hoping to make female characters such as Hana or Kumo into figures. The next page from Famimaga 64 magazine features Pokémon 2 and its link to the anime. The page notes that in the anime, many Pokémon will appear, including Hood. It mentions the Pocket Monsters anime is still secretive, but it took place on March 28th. The page also gives a list of broadcast stations showing the Pokémon anime. Additionally, there is an article about Ryoko Hirosue and her Star Fox 64 cm. The article shares behind-the-scenes details of the CM shoot, highlighting the energy of Ryoko and the staff. The CM was shot on March 13th. The page features an image of Pikachu and Poliwag, and talks about the comedic talent around Ryoko Hirosue in the CM, and how many takes were required. It features an image of Nintendo's Hanjo, who is an employee in the Public Relations Department. Please provide the text you would like me to summarize. The next page features a variety of content, starting with a game index for both Nintendo 64 and Super Famicom games. For the N64, it lists titles like Goemon, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, Star Fox 64, and Bomberman. The Super Famicom section includes Arkanoid Do It Again, Super Bomberman 5, and Let's and Go! There's also a comic strip titled Pemo Pemo by Uchi, as well as a release schedule for Virtual Boy games such as Starseed and Virtual Block. The page continues with information on game hardware and accessories, mentioning the N64 Rumble Pack and a Game Boy Pocket AC adapter. It teases the next issue, highlighting a feature on Star Wars, Star Fox 64, Multi-Racing, Bomberman, and information about Tamagotchi and Pokemon for Game Boy fans. Finally, there are some early scoop news items, including a new quiz game, Okeishi, Konami's eWar Turbo, and imagining the N64 classic title, Mahjong Horoki Classic. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Super Famicom game, Dark Law, Meaning of Death. highlighting its complex systems, multiple scenarios, and mature themes. It also promotes the ASC2 grip controller, which is suitable for RPG and strategy games, and the TurboFile twin memory cartridge. The ad features screenshots of the game, showcasing the diverse character classes, strategic combat, and magic system. The game is priced at 8,000 yen, while the ASC2 grip is 2,480 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Super Famicom game, Solid Runner, a near-future cyberpunk RPG. The ad highlights the game's network-based jobs, customizable weapons, strategic combat, and overdrive system. It features screenshots of gameplay and character art, showing 2 characters with weapons and a robotic enemy. The game is priced at 8,000 yen and is compatible with the TurboFile Twin. The TurboFile Twin is a memory device for saving Dark Law and Solid Runner data, priced at 7,500 yen. The next page is a full-page advert for Star Fox 64 on the Nintendo 64. It features artwork of the game, enthusiastic Japanese faces, and the Rumble Pack. The advert emphasizes the immersive 3D shooting experience and includes a release date of April 27th and a price of 8,700 yen.